Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Junius Maltby posted a video several years ago on where to buy and not buy gold and silver. And it was a very comprehensive look based off the time period of companies and different ways in purchasing gold and silver. And I thought I would build upon that mainly for today, but focusing on more how not to buy gold and silver. Because I think most of us know how to buy, but this time I'm going to focus on how not to buy. And it's more of a generalized way of approaching precious metals, because when he posted his video, really the idea of online buying of gold and silver was just coming into its own. And it's really become, the markets have really become a bit more savvy, and buyers have become a bit more savvy nowadays. But for those new to precious metals and wanting to find out on where you can go and how to go ahead and make purchases of gold and silver, you know, some of it's changed a little bit, and the market has expanded in some ways, and we're going to explore that. But we're going to explore from the vantage point on how not to do something. And then by deference, you can make the assumption of how you can or how you should. So we will cover both topics, but mainly this is going to cover the ways on how not to do it. In other words, what I'm going to explain to you is as a general rule and guidelines on ways to not buy and how not to buy gold and silver. And essentially, it's really simple and easy. Now, most of us, we see advertisements for gold and silver coins, and where do we see them? And where do we hear them? Television and radio. That's right. And most of us think that if we do see ads for gold and silver coins or bullion on radio and TV, as a general rule, we think, well, if the advertisers are offering, are paying money to television and programs and radio programs for gold and silver, then that must mean that it's legitimate. And for the most part, they are. But there are some caveats, and you can be a legitimate business and you can offer gold and silver products, but you may not get the best deal, and there may be some fine print in there where you overpay big time, and not necessarily. So we're going to outline the areas and ways that these products are offered using common sense and with gold and silver items, and ways you can avoid paying too much or getting a bad deal on certain pieces because you didn't read the fine print, or getting more than what you bargained for. As a general rule, bullion dealers and places and wholesalers of gold and silver, if they advertise on radio and television, especially those two mediums, if they advertise there, that typically means that you should avoid them. And that's a general rule. I tend to typically avoid buying from any precious metals, quote, dealer or wholesaler or investment company if they offer gold and silver in advertisements on television or radio. And why is that? Well, they're spending a lot of money on advertising, typically, if they're going to be buying ads on radio and television. And they're selling you typically a sort of a subscription service. You just give them a certain amount of money, they're going to give you gold and silver in a portfolio, and you're paying them for their services rather than paying, and a lot of that money is being taken away from the actual coins that you get, so you overpay big time. And so, as a general rule, I avoid buying gold and silver from radio or television and ads. And some could be said for some print advertisements too. But not all print advertisements are bad, although some of them may lure you in with a great deal on a certain coin or gold under spot in some cases, and then they get you in on that, and then they try to convince you, hey, here's another coin that you should get, and it's a great deal, and it really is not. So you have to be very, very careful and cautious. Sometimes these special promotions may be legitimate, but it's to hook you in to buy something else or to subscribe to a service that they offer where they send you coins every month and the like. So that's one way how not to buy gold and silver. Another way not to buy gold and silver is by pure impulse. In other words, if you just see something and you've got to have it, and it's a very nice looking coin, or you just have extra money and you're just going to go ahead and buy gold or silver from any company, don't buy under impulse just on the first whim or instinct. Take a step back, think to yourself, am I getting a really best deal? Is this what I really want? Do I really want to spend this money, especially on an ounce of gold? You want to make sure if it's a specific coin you're looking for a specific year or type, that you're getting the best deal. So don't just buy at first impulse. Take a step back. If you're afraid that spot's going to move, or any particular deal, or the coin's not going to be available, more likely it will be again. If you see something that's out there, there's all different avenues and different ways to search these coins out or bullion products out on the internet. eBay is a great resource for that, by the way, of checking to see what's out there. And in terms of the pricing of the particular pieces and the like. Doesn't mean you should always trust eBay, depending on who the seller is, but nonetheless, it's a good resource to see what kind of prices some of these coins bring. Also, in relation to eBay, to see if you're paying a fair price for a particular coin, whether it have some numismatic value or not, is to search the completed listing for coins that have already sold. The other aspect and the way not to buy gold and silver coins is by any kind of peer pressure or pressure of any sort. And, I say peer pressure first because a lot of us here in the community are influenced by other members of the community. But in no way, shape, or form should anyone make a purchase of any product, whether it be gold, silver coins, or what have you, or whatever anybody's offering, solely based on peer pressure. It should be because you either want the coin or you feel like it's a good deal to get a particular coin or bar or coin or what have you. And that's very difficult because sometimes we see some things, and even if someone doesn't tell us, hey, you should buy this, or this is a really nice thing, or whatever, you show something that's beautiful, and you might feel inclined to get it through just seeing the beauty of it in a video or what have you. But nonetheless, take a step back. If it's something you really do want, then that's fine. But make sure that you can afford to get it and that you can get it for it at a great price. And but never feel compelled out of any kind of pressure from any person or psychological element. So I hope that helped you. I think that basically sums up the ways on how not to buy precious metals, gold and silver. I think the biggest one is to avoid any that revolve around heavily advertised products or making promises about where spot price is going to be at a certain time, whether it be through television or radio advertisements or an analyst saying, hey, you should buy this because gold's going to go up this certain amount or going to go down in a certain time. It's a great time to buy. Do your research, before making such decisions. And but anyone who does this heavily advertisements or is involved in a precious metals dealing whatsoever, some of these commentators and the like, just be very wary. Protect yourself with gold and silver. It is an investment in your hedging. That's where it's an investment. Other than that, it's mainly just a hedge to protect you as an insurance policy. But it will not make you money unless you are flipping, coins that have a low mintage that in a certain amount of time, and even that's become more difficult as time has gone on. But nonetheless, with that being said, on how not to buy gold and silver, we know that if you do just the opposite of what I mentioned and search online dealers, reputable online dealers on eBay and particular specials. Sometimes for those of you who have bought precious metals, sometimes you get those emails with deal alerts. Look at those carefully. But don't just buy based off of seeing them, because one person's deal alert one day could be the regular price of another dealer, and take into account shipping costs and the like. If they are, and with some dealers they do offer free shipping if you spend a certain amount of money. But just be cautious about it. Be smart and enjoy your precious metals that you do get, because they will protect you. And but just know the ways on how not to buy gold and silver. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.